Good Sunday evening, everybody. And Daryl, I am not late. I am right on time. I seen in there that Highly saying, "How you doing, dear? Thank you for stopping in." Uh, Thomas is having some leg cramps, so he won't be in. So we'll have him in our thoughts. Carolina, he's been going all day and all night, so I understand. I messaging him and stuff, so all sleep well there, brother. So. And I seen Rail come in. How you doing, Rail? How you been doing, man? Hi, Daryl.
Hello.
So you get your sugar and stuff under control this time, man.
We're right this minute.
Okay. Long as Lisa Ann's not been giving you, Lisa Ann, sorry. Long as Delisa hasn't been giving you too much sugar.
No.
You need some of that good sugar.
All them carbs.
You don't have to eat what I put on the table.
I'm saying he needs some of that good sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say.
Work them carbs off.
Yeah. But
So yeah, we're under a heat advisory until Tuesday.
We are all the way to Saturday.
We are all week.
Well, that was yesterday. Hey, Adam, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Adam.
This whole week.
I'm glad I took tomorrow off, because when it gets above 80, like 85, 88 degrees, outside, my shop gets miserable because there's a big asphalt parking lot right outside the one man door or one garage door. And that's the way the wind blows in from. So it blows all that heat off that parking lot right into the shop.
Hey, you mean you ain't got an air conditioning shop there, Ed?
No.
I mean, all the other places in the college has got air conditioning. Why don't they air condition your shop?
We actually have a big chiller tower sitting out in our storage lot. Thing's only like 5 years old. They took it out because it was too small for the building when they remodeled it. And I keep trying to talk them into, putting the thing out in the back side of my shop, plumb it in, put a big old coil in there so we can have some cool air. But nobody wants to hear that,
So you're low man on the totem pole still.
Yeah.
I mean,
I even
right.
I even asked for a porta-cool, and they said they're too expensive.
Well, the sports teams have them, don't
they? Our field house and our athletic complexes are all air conditioned.
Oh snap! Well,
yeah.
Your shop ain't no bigger than the sports complex. I mean,
my shop is half the size of our field house, and it is air conditioned all summer long, even if it's not being used.
Hey,
hi, Dwight.
Wayne.
I appreciate you watching them, Dwight. So yeah, I don't know if everybody's seen the new video Saturday. We got the big Pro V 50 cube back out. Started seeing it sit in the back corner of the shop, so we tore into it, and coil bind was not on my radar of why it would not smoothly turn over. Myself, I was actually leaning towards the springs being too heavy, or we were having contact between the piston and the valve, and I just happened to decide to look and see, and I seen those coils, the springs on the valves, the springs on the valves binding. So hopefully today I made a little road trip, about 45 minute one way, and then waited for 45 minutes in the store for my parts to come up from the warehouse. Hopefully we gonna have that solved here this coming week, and we can move on to more important things. So I like having Summit. I like having Summit racing in my backyard.
Well, what are you gonna put that in at Dodge
No,
so it'll have more power? I mean,
I don't need no more power on my Dodge. Actually, I don't know what is going to become of that engine. I'm going to get it running. I'm going to, after we get the heads and stuff done, I'm going to get the heads and stuff done, back on it. If that takes care of the binding problem, then we're going to move on to building an intake manifold for it. I've talked to a bunch of people, and it should be fairly straightforward with the knowledge background I have of, drag racing engines and stuff like that, hot rod engines. Concept that should be fairly easy to do. Get that going. And I'm going to pull the crank trigger that was off that engine that I put on Plan B and quit using on Plan B. I'm going to pull the crank trigger back off, put it back on that engine. The coils are already on it, and get it fired up. I want to hear it run, and then I'll get with Mark, and it'll be up to him at that point what goes on with it. So whether he puts it on a tractor or I put it on a tractor or what, that'll be on him once I get it running. So Dwight wants to know.
You get up into those kind of places there, Ed, then you got to start going to them indoor pools where the big tractors are, ain't you?
If I put it into a frame and stuff, my plan is to try to do some of the indoor NGTPA pools. Dwight, no, I made test and tune with Monkey Business. I got Plan B unwinterized and fired up and running, and I either had something going on or it has been raining. Last weekend they had a pole down there. Here it had rained all day Saturday, and then Sunday morning it was still wet and nasty and gooky, and they were calling for rain by noon down there. They did get first round through, but I didn't want to drive all that way, and because it was an early morning pool, weigh in at 9, pool at 10. That means I got to leave here by 7 o'clock in the morning, and they did get one round in. Then it started pouring down rain. I didn't want to go drive all that way to get rained out. You know what I'm saying? So now they did post today. We were supposed to have a pool on the 29th next Sunday. They canceled that. They must have had some stuff come up. So the next pool will be July 5th. Yeah, 5th. So my plan is to have both tractors and go to that one. So, but there after I pulled Monkey Business that one time or the 3 times I guess at the test and tune, I was getting kind of depressed and stuff that with all the rain and bad weather and stuff going on that I just didn't. I mean, I just couldn't get excited about it, I guess. That's kind of another reason I decided to pull that 50 cube out and just do what I need to do to get it done. So, like I said, I'm tired of seeing it sitting in the corner of the shop. not doing anything. Waste of space, waste of money. So we're gonna
That'll put you out of the classes y'all that you normally run on, Ed.
no.
Okay.
Twins only does not have a. Hey Juan, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Juan.
Twins only. The class I pull in Twins only does not have a cubic inch limit. It just says that it has to be a factory 25 horse block. Doesn't say you can't oversize it. There's no limit on oversizing them. Fuel, none of that stuff. So I can technically pull it down there. Whether I want it, I mean, I'll probably use it for tuning for the indoor pools with the 50 cube classes there. So it's actually 50 and a half cubic inches, but so we're gonna do the we're just gonna call it a 50 cube. I mean, and I did measure it and everything, and it is the 50 and a half cubic inches that you're allowed to have. So, but yeah, I'm
Hey,
I kind of got the fire back. So,
well,
but hey Barry, how you doing?
just since you got Monday off, Ed, you was going to Summit, you could have picked me up at 350 and brought it down here, and
Hey, I'm only like 45 minutes from there. So if you call up there and order it, put it on your credit card, I'll go up and pick it up for you, brother.
And they'll keep it. That's nice. Good friend.
Yeah, it'll be 45 minutes closer to you, my place.
Just trying to be nice.
It'll save you them shipping costs.
Yeah. I was looking at them last night, and I think it was what $500-600 for just for the core charge. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know what I'd want to take that core or not, though. I mean, I know that core's running good, so
Well, I said they'll take any core.
yeah.
Funny thing is I don't think up here in Talmadge, the original store, I don't think that's where they do their engine teardowns and builds anymore. I know a buddy of mine used to work up there. He started out.
I think it was ATK is what I was looking at was the ones that making. It might have been on Jigs. I don't know. It popped up in my email, so I think it might have been Jigs.
But funny thing is my buddy worked up there years and years ago, right out of high school. He got hired in to do teardowns, and he said, "Man, you got to see some of these engines that these people turn in for cores." He goes, "They couldn't have been running engines, you know." But he did that for about 4 or 5 years, I think.
Did they accept them? Did they accept them blowed up like that?
Oh yeah, as long as they didn't have a hole in the block, they accepted them. And they didn't have any accessories on them. They usually had, like he said, some of them had intake manifolds, some of them didn't, depending if they were buying a long block or a short block.
Yeah.
But he I think he did that for 3 or 4 years, and then moved into the assembly part of it, and he did that. But then he went to he left there and went someplace else. I don't know where he went after that. He was still building engines, but I think that's about the time that right after he left, shortly after, I think they'd moved all their operations.
I just want one I can put a little bit. I want with one little cam in it where it's got a little chop to it. That's what I want. just
in a little 300 shot.
yeah, might be. I mean,
Yeah. So,
we got plenty of cows around here, so methane ought not be no problem getting.
but yeah, when I got up there, I mean they were when I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to a summit race, and I don't know if this is how they're at all of them. You go in, they got a big showroom, but right like in the center of the store, they got like 8 or 10 counter people, and you go up and talk to them, order, get your parts, order and all that kind of stuff, pay for them, and then in the back of the store they got a pickup area. Well, it's funny because you just see a lot, 90% of the people go to the counter and then kind of migrate right back to that pickup area. And when I walked after I got my stuff ordered and paid for, I think there was 32 people in line ahead of me waiting for parts. And it's funny what you see, what people buy. You can tell the guys that are there just to get some chrome lug nuts or whatever. And then you got the 4 or 5 guys standing off in the corner that's got dirty shirts and pants and stuff on, and they wheel a cart out and it's got, intake manifolds and everything else all on it. They're like, yeah, dude, this dude's working to get his car back together so he can go racing next weekend.
It might be to try so he can go to work the next day. I've been in that shape where you had to get it back together that day so you had to go to work tomorrow.
Well, these guys look like they were out last night, and then they're there Sunday morning to get the parts to fix what they messed up yesterday night or last night, and because they're going to go do it again this coming Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was. Oh, I always like going up there. I mean, it's fun just to walk around and see what all they got and all the displays and all the cars they got on displays and everything. But the trip up wasn't that bad. It wasn't that warm because I went up. I think I left here about a little bit after 11 in the morning because I'd mowed my grass this morning. And by the time I got up there, waited in line, got my parts and everything picked up, and come back out, dude, it was hot. Even down the highway at 70 mile an hour, it was hot.
Dave, I still got to change it. I started to go out there yesterday and do it, but I didn't. I got too lazy. But I got to change that air conditioner condenser out on that truck out there. And I mean, it's got the oil cooler and all. I mean, the transmission cooler runs through that condenser. I mean, all that runs through the condenser. And I went, I said, well, at least while I'm in town, I might as well pick up a little bit of transmission fluid. I don't know how much how much transmission fluid that condenser is going to hold. So I pulled out and I went in there, went in the advanced store, and you know how much damn quart of transmission fluid was to fit that truck, man?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had it from $13 to $18 a quart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually, for work, I buy ours in a 55-gallon drum, but it's also from Schaefer's. It's a synthetic. It's good for all transmissions, but
this is a synthetic too. But it's I ain't going to mix it with whatever's already in it. So I bought what come out of the factory. So
yeah.
And but I like the hardest. I like to had a harder stroke when I bought that. When I looked at it on how much it was on the shelf, I said, "Holy!"
I priced a guy. I had to do a brake line on one of our trucks last week, one of our pickup trucks, and I usually I just call down and say, "Hey, send me a gallon of brake fluid," but for giggles, I just went online and was ordering it online through my app, and yeah, there was one brake fluid that I think it was .4 or 5. It was over $100 a gallon.
Holy cow!
I don't know if that was a misprint, but what I bought was $30-some a gallon.
Well, that's the way it. I mean, really, I mean, they'll change the oil and rotate the tires on this truck. You know, they'll charge a little over $80 Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I went to figuring it up. By the time I bought the filter, the 8 quarts of oil, and everything else, I was cheaper to take it to them, and I didn't have to get greasy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Honestly, I mean, I mean, these parts houses have gone nuts.
Oh, it's not the parts houses; it's where they're getting the parts from.
There was a woman down here at Advance Auto, and she could build a vehicle in her sleep.
A friend of mine that's, how do I say this? He don't like the current sitting president. Was spouting off about, the 320, it's 329 gas. He wanted his $1.79 gas. Where's that at? Blah, blah, blah. He don't set the price of fuel. The refineries do. Because he was going on and on about how cheap crude oil is and everything. It's the refineries are the ones that set the prices, dude. The government cannot tell them.
The refineries and the speculators is the one that sets the prices.
Right.
That, I mean,
and the refineries are hedging the bets against or for us bombing Iran and the prices of crude oil going up.
Yeah, and they did that. They did that yesterday. So you'd able to see $4 a gallon gasoline before the end of the week.
Yeah.
Again.
But you know what I'm saying. I mean, I just
I mean,
but
the sad part about it is though, is no matter how much we drill in the United States, we do not use our own oil. Our refineries can't produce this sweet oil we have.
That's because the oil that we have in the United States in this area in this country is better suited for lubricants and specialty products. It takes more to refine the oils that we have, the crude oil we have, because of the paraffins and stuff that are in it, than the cheap stuff from overseas.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Hi, Nate.
Hey, Nate.
I know when I used to work in the oil field years and years ago. Out west, there's crude oil stashes, government crude oil stashes. If at that point in time, it was in the early mid 90s when I worked in the oil field. If we pulled the plug on producing oil, we had enough oil in reserves that the country, if they would refine it into fuels and stuff, they had enough oil in reserves to carry us 10 years.
Yeah. But but I mean, it's just like I mean, all that stuff out of Alaska and all that stuff y'all did they pull out around where you're at and all that stuff. They said our refineries, they ain't built a refiner in this country in like 50, 60 years. and they don't have the refining capabilities of refining our stuff to meet EPA rule regulations.
Hey Ken, how you doing?
They can.
They actually have the capabilities. It just costs them so much to refine the oil into fuels that we have here. It's easier for them to produce it into lubricants and like stuff for chemicals and industrial and stuff like that. They just it's easier and cheaper for them to do that. Yeah, Ken, it is hot. I was just saying that I went up to the summit today, and the trip up wasn't bad, but the trip back, not having AC, yeah.
Ken's sitting back in his cool garage. What he's doing out there, I mean,
I actually put
he's got air conditioned garage and all that stuff. So.
Oh, his garage isn't air conditioned, but it's insulated very, very well. I bet you it's still warm out there.
Yeah,
so nope, in the house. Yep, I am too. Yep. Yeah, I was out in the shop at I think I was out there about 6-ish this morning, so it wouldn't be so it wasn't so hot. But then I about 8 o'clock I went out. 8:15 I went out and added or I went out and mowed the grass. It was still a little bit wet and still a little clumpy, but I got her mowed anyways, and then come in and grabbed a bite to eat, and away I went to Summit. But no, I'm sorry. I was out there at 6:30 this morning because I went to Walmart and I was there when they opened this morning. Ran in, got my stuff, and got back.
Yeah, and then you don't even talk about the price of a Freon to go under that air condition no more either.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, shoot, just a Freon alone cost $50 for that truck out there. I mean,
oh yeah.
But can you put? You got to pull a vacuum on it to make the air conditioner work, Ed, or can you just put your hands in?
The reason you pull a vacuum is to get any moisture. Once you open the system, some moisture will get in there.
Right.
And the pump and the Freon do not mix well with moisture. So you pull the vacuum to pull the moisture out and to check for leaks. And then once you get that done. Hi, Nate.
Hello, Nate.
How's King Guppy?
He sees it.
All right. So,
what are we talking about tonight?
Just going to Summit Racing and all that kind of happy stuff.
I do like me some Summit.
I was there today for 45 minutes.
Whoa, that's cool. I think there's one in Florida somewhere.
I'm not sure if it's in Florida or Georgia.
Maybe it's Georgia.
I think it's Georgia, Texas, and Ohio.
Close enough for me. I'd be willing to go.
Well, the one up here in Talmadge where I'm at, that's the original Summit Racing store.
So they probably got some cool vintage stuff in there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they got some vintage Pro Mod stuff on the wall and some alcohol cars and stuff like that. Plus they always have changing like show cars up on the turntables and stuff. So
I expect a video.
I got a video going there and going in and out. They're funny about people videoing inside.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't want nobody seeing their good stuff.
Well, no, I don't know if it's that or what, but I know a couple other YouTubers that's went up there, and they were kind of off in the corner videoing and stuff.
Kind of sneaky, like.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they won't come out and tell you not to, but I don't think they like their people being on camera.
I went to a fish store today that I like pretty far away, and I was thinking about asking the guy if I could film in there, and I kind of wussied out. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't ask.
But
you feel kind of weird when you're walking around filming stuff. I mean, I don't know if you get that too, Ed.
It depends on where I'm at.
Yeah.
I went down to a local car show one day, and I thought, and all the people down there said, "Don't film me, don't film my car, and all this stuff." I said, "Well, hell with you then. I won't film none of you." I mean, that's just the way it felt, They just, I mean, these are the same old codgers that there's every local car show. They're, and anybody from the outside, they don't like nobody really asking any questions or nothing like that. I mean, why do you have a car if you don't want anybody to talk about it or look at it?
And then you're going to take it to the car show too. People are going to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it don't make sense.
Thank you, Scott.
Guess what Scott just did?
Scott rocks.
Scott done heard that you done.
He dropped a 20 in there in Ed's stream.
He's
That
done
guy.
heard,
Need to call Moneybag Briggs.
He must be at the bar.
he heard Scott heard that he did Ed went to Summit, so he knew daggone well he done spent $100 just walking in the door. So I mean,
$68.
wait a minute, you went in there. It cost me $100 to go in Walmart, much less some like place like Summit.
Well, the only thing I got was a little box about yay big and a piece of pipe about yay long. I was actually going to buy a set of valve lash caps. They had them on their website, but they didn't have them in stock. They said they were in stock, but they weren't in stock. The ones they tried to sell me, 8 of them, was $150.
Jeez.
For valve lash caps.
Yeah, I had to order some for a little Honda one time, and they were $10, and I'm pretty sure they're probably close to the same thing that you.
Yeah. Well, I looked them up on Amazon. I can get 8 of them on Amazon for $24 or $27. Same manufacturer and everything.
That's what I was gonna say. Probably come from the same exact place.
Scott's got plenty of money today.
Get it, Scott. Bip, start a live stream. Scott's awake.
Thank you again, Scott. You don't have to do that, man.
Honestly. He's making me jealous. Do I have any money, Beb? Can I give Ed money?
Watch the videos all the way through and give it a thumbs up.
I don't think I can do it from here, though.
That's plenty of money.
Yeah, I can do that. Wait.
So, but yeah, I'm feeling getting this motor
Maybe
going.
my other phone.
Where's that?
Out there up top. Coming for you, Ed.
But yeah, I priced the intake manifold for from the manufacturer, the people that make the heads, because they're a little different and stuff. $550. We ain't spending no $550 on an intake manifold, not yet. I'm gonna build one out of tube steel.
I've seen it done.
Oh yeah.
Get you some. Just start saving up your aluminum cans, Ed, and melt them down, and
Gee.
put them playpen sand, and make your own.
Now I'm gonna. I bought the mandrel. I bought some mandrel bent tubing today, and hopefully, waiting for his new nephew to arrive. Awesome, Scott.
Well, it sounds like it's about time there, Scott. I mean, a new nephew instead of a niece. I mean, you got a handful of nieces, and this is the first nephew.
Yeah, but I've talked to some other engine builders, some real engine builders, and everything, and they're like, nope, you can. They've made really good horsepower on homemade manifolds. So, as long as you understand the concept of how the manifold's supposed to work and everything, I'm like, yeah, I do. I've worked on some big drag race engines and stuff like that, and I understand how they're supposed to work and everything. And they're like, then you'll be perfectly fine.
I've seen some crazy ones that look like they shouldn't work and they do.
Yep. And the one guy was really nice about it. He built a lot of them. You know, when I say a lot, he's built like a dozen or so. But he gave me some really good pointers on what to do and what not to do and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna build one.
My hair looks really good for some reason in this video.
It's the fish tank. Woohoo! Mrs. Kurt's coming through. Look at that.
Don't worry, pay for anything.
You jerk. She used my money to put it on her name.
Yeah.
Not even right. Damn it, man. Never give your woman access to your bank account.
Well, Nate, get her, put her in the daggone screen, because at least she's better looking than you are. I mean,
come on, Bubs. They want to see you. All right, fine. I quit. Get over here. Come on over. Have a seat, lady. They want to see Mrs. Parks.
I gotta be in there.
They want to see the real star.
There we go.
Hey, Mr. Carter.
Hi.
Say hi. Hi.
On the full screen. That's up there.
That was it. That was all Mr. Briggs paid for.
So
you can go to our OnlyFans if you want to.
How are you doing, Briggs?
Next door.
So you've been to the private beach lately, Nate?
We ain't going up there no more.
Too many people coming around now?
It's pretty crazy, dude. It gets nuts up there. I be wanting to fight a mofo.
Oh,
I look over and I see a guy doing this number, I can't handle that. I mean, it's one thing to be naked, but a dude just sitting by himself, just taking care of business ain't cool.
No, I'm talking about your private island you had.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the nudie beach.
No.
That's his hair and everything.
Now you're telling on yourself, Nate.
Oh, I don't care. We loved it. It was nice for a while. Yeah, we went Saturday. Yesterday we was out there.
I'm glad I got my sunglasses on. I don't want to see any of that.
Mr. Briggs.
So, but no, I remember when you and the wife and the daughter and puppy dog there would go out there and there'd be nobody out there.
Yep, that was years and years ago.
And then all of a sudden it started getting more popular.
Yeah, we go early. Everybody comes off that sandbar around 2:00, and they start showing up at the island. A lot of people like to sit at that island because we can see the boat ramp from there. So you kind of wait for your empty spot. You know what I mean? When there ain't nobody at the boat ramp, you call butt over there and try to load your stuff up.
That and you get to watch people driving your boat past.
Yeah, all my boats.
Yeah, your whole fleet.
Good times.
Well,
You go to the Nudie Beach next week?
well, up there by Summit, there's a half a dozen lakes up there, and the boats today. Oh my! I mean, they were going both ways, and I bet you there was 30 of them. Up on the highway. Everything from like racks of kayaks to big power boats to pontoons to, party boats and everything else, man. I'm like, man, I can understand some of the people that were going away from the lake, because by the time that was on the way home, it was already dang hot. But the one road I take up, you actually cross the lake twice, but the one is a really main place where a lot of the boat guys, people like tie off and stuff like that. It's not a real fast part of the lake. And I bet you I seen 30 boats on each side of the bridge. People just tied out and floating and anchoring. And
there's the big rig.
Yeah. Oh, need to get polishing on that thing. And wheels are getting kind of dingy.
It is this is moneymaker. I don't care what it looks like.
That's the money maker.
That's the moneymaker.
That'll totally fit in my front yard. There's the TT. There's the TT.
Yep, I just got home from Florida. I had to go down there. I'm back.
He was in Tampa.
Bar hopping.
Yeah, I know you was at the bar. I think the bartender stole your phone the other day and was dropping a bunch of super
didn't
chats.
steal my phone.
That man super chatted the heck out of me the other day, Ed.
Awesome.
I really appreciate that. We really appreciate that, Mr. Briggs. I told him he's got a place to stay next time he's down here on the east coast of Florida.
Yeah, I had to go down there for a couple of days.
Tops down. Oh, snap.
Yeah, I just got out of the shower. I gotta go. I'm just getting ready to go bar hopping.
Audi TT.
Hey, it's a fun bar hopping car.
Damn right it is.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll show you one. Here's one I bet you Daryl could relate to. Now, this is what happened to me last week. You're gonna love this. So, driving down the road, lost the red airline.
Oh my! No trailer brake.
Right. Yeah, the blue airline. I mean,
dang.
came right off. So I put a brand new loom on. A couple days later,
God.
the red airline goes on a brand new thing. Oh, now so I don't have no way of disconnecting. So now we got an airline from one, an airline from another. Oh, let's not forget the cord plug came out.
Dang it. You've
Oh,
been cutting
man.
them corners too sharp there.
Hey, I got this looks funny, don't it?
There's a lot going on there. Call her Medusa.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Oh man. But
This is-
well, Friday afternoon, I get off work at 3:30, and about 10 minutes after 3, the ground supervisor come in my room there where I got my computer and stuff, and he looked at me kind of real serious. It's like, oh, I think I blew a hydraulic line on the dump truck. I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna have to get it fixed. I'm like, yeah, Tuesday when I come back from work. You don't have one? No, I don't have one. I gotta have one made. I gotta get the old one off. Find out how long it is.
Get the right fittings.
Yeah.
The chance of having the right fittings anyway is slim to none.
Right. Well, I think he was expecting me to like jump up and like go do it right then and there. Hey, road runner, me. I think he was expecting me to jump up and go do it right then and there. And I'm like, oh, it's like, 10 after, quarter after 3. I leave at 3:30 and I'm off all weekend till Tuesday. That ain't getting fixed today. But the shitty part about it is it's one of them dump trucks that has the hydraulic tank under the bed. And I don't know how easy it's going to be. It's just a single line coming off the cylinder to the pump or to the valve. But I don't know if it's the that line blew or the line from the pump to the valve or what. You know, like I said, I didn't go out and look at it. If it's from the pump to the valve, no big deal. You know, I can get that changed fairly easy. But if it's the one that goes from the cylinder to the valve, that might be kind of rough getting it changed with the bed down. And then I got
It's probably full of rock or something too, Ed.
No, it was full of tree. It was full of tree limbs.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Could be worse.
the real funny part about it is, you know, he acted like, you know, he needed to use it. We've got a 5-ton dump trailer sitting right there, tandem axle dump trailer. It's 10 foot long, 5 foot wide, and then we've got a 1-ton truck that has a dump bed insert sitting on a flatbed.
Nice.
That he can use, you know. So, you know,
ain't nothing stopping him from going to work. In other words.
Yeah. The dump trailer's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. You know, it's electric dump bed, but you know, it's a little more of a pain in the butt dragging a trailer around rather than just driving the truck. But there's nothing stopping you from, you know, from doing that. You know, we bought that we bought that dump bed insert for that flatbed truck 2 years ago, and the only thing it has hauled since we bought it is rock salt for the salt spreader we bought for it. It hasn't. It's never hauled dirt. It's never hauled stone. It's never hauled tree limbs. Nothing.
Just salt.
Then you come in Tuesday and he took that trailer out and forgot to swing wide and took the axles out from underneath the trailer, so you had to be welding under the trailer all week. The rest of the week, period.
Job security. It doesn't bother me one bit. It's all security. So, but I was actually talking to I guess it's my boss's boss. He's the director of the physical plant. He's a big car guy. He road races and he off-road. He's got an off-road Jeep and all kinds of other stuff. I was talking to him about Power Tour 2026 next year. He never even seen anything about it. He didn't even know what it was. And he went and watched some videos and stuff of it. And he's like, dude, he goes, that's freaking cool. I'm like, yeah, it's like drag and drive, but you don't have to drag race. You just basically drive from car show to car show to car show for 5 days. And I think this year they had 3,000 cars on the long haul. That's a lot of cars. That's a lot of cars, you know, especially doing the long haul. That's the whole 5-day trip, everything.
He's got another one.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had 2 of them.
This is the one that got hit last year in the back end. It's a parts car.
Oh.
But
There's
there's no motor in it. There's no motor. I took the motor out of it.
Ah.
Yeah, the motor is going in this beast right next.
Is that a Rabbit or a Golf?
VW Cabriolet.
Ah.
This is my original kit car. This is a 1988 VW Cabriolet with 582,000 miles.
Damn. 582,000 miles. But they got more miles than the truck on it, the semi.
No, the semi's got 164. Yeah, you're right. It does. Yeah, see, it got a little boo-boo, Nate. You know.
We could buff that out.
Yeah. No worries, dude. My dad's a TV repairman. He's got an ultimate set of tools.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that an Endless Summer reference? What is it?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, that does. That has more miles than the semi.
That's crazy. That's probably the highest mileage I've ever heard. It's almost 600,000 on a car.
It's a diesel. What do you expect? That ain't nothing for a VW diesel.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tired.
The second highest I seen was one of them Dodge V10s, the pickup truck.
Yeah.
I've seen one of them with almost 400,000 miles on it, original motor and transmission.
Nah, yeah, that motor and that is tired. Believe me, it burns more oil than it does diesel.
I believe that's true.
My,
But it's a
my
gas.
bu-
No, this is a gas motor.
my
V10.
buddy had one of those V10s right off the showroom floor, brand new the year they come out. It was actually bought for him. He was a drag racer. It was a sponsorship dealership that sponsored him, gave it to him.
Mhm.
Yeah, he had it for 9 months. I think it was 9 months and turned it back in. And not 9 months, they put 6 windshield or back window in it.
What the? What?
Kept twisting it and popping them.
Are you kidding me? Damn it, man.
Well, he had that's what they gave him for a tow rig, and he ended up going back to his 1-ton Chevy crew cab, and well, he's like, okay, we're using it as a tow rig for the trailer, but I can't keep windows in it.
That's nuts. I've never heard of a truck torquing like that.
Well, they did when they first come out, and then Dodge decided it'd be a great idea. We'll put frame stiffeners in him. So he went back and, I mean, right after he had the first one, after he popped the first windshield, and actually I cracked it, broke it. Didn't just pop the seal, broke the windshield.
Broke it.
Yeah. The dealership was like, oh, yeah, we know there's a recall on them. Here, take this other truck. It's a diesel. Take it, and then we'll get this one fixed up, do the recall on it. He's like, cool, no problem. So they did that. He's like, dude, he goes, I love that. He goes, I love that Cummins. He said, that Cummins just ate, man. But so he, I think he went to 2 races with that. And then they had his truck done. He went back and picked his truck up. And the very next race they went to, it was out of state race. On the way back, they're pulling a big hill. And he goes, I had a feeling something was going to go. He said, and that thing dropped the gear. He said, and you heard the torque come on. He said, and all of a sudden we heard a pop and one of the back windows broke.
Oh,
Get out of here.
Yep. He said, so as soon as we got home that night, he said the next morning, he said it was sitting at the dealership, and the dealership's like, well, we've never seen that, They're like, well, then the Dodge tried to tell him, well, you're overloading it. He's like, how am I overloading it? I'm not over the GPA of the truck,
Right.
And they're like, well, you're this or that. Well, then they're like, well, it's the fifth wheel. It's not designed. Wasn't built to have a fifth wheel in it. He's like, the Cummins I had, which is the same exact truck, just a different motor. He said, it pulled it fine. Why isn't it popping windows?
Yeah.
It's got a fifth wheel in it.
I have never heard of that one.
And he
I'm
said,
going to ask that dude if he's ever broke any windshields now next time I see him.
he may not have. I know a lot of guys that bought those trucks and had the frame stiffeners put in. They actually went back and welded instead, because they were just bolted in.
Yeah.
Those guys went back and welded those things in, and I think that stopped the frame from twisting. But he goes, I really don't care. He goes, it's not my truck. He said, it's, you can bolt it in all you want. He said, but he turned it back in, and like 2 more years he used his Chevy that he had, and then the car dealership switched from Dodge to Ford. They offered him a Ford. He's like, no,
Here,
ain't happening.
Take this EcoBoost.
Yeah. He said, nah, it ain't happening. And then they actually bought a semi-toter type deal and was using that single axle. I wanted his old 1-ton. That thing was cool.
What do they say? 8 in a V, sit down to pee, 6 in a row, ready to tow. Right?
Well, his Chevy was a big block Chevy.
Yeah.
but they had the motor out and redid it.
They did something to it.
It was 500 cubic inches.
Oh boy.
It had dual fuel tanks on each one on each side, and then another 150 in the bed.
Good Lord.
And he said, yeah, he said it would. He said it ate fuel. He said, but I've never ever had anything I couldn't tow with it.
Did it have an Allison in it? Probably.
I don't know what. No, it was a manual transmission.
Really? Okay. I trust manual in more anyway. Honestly, I'd rather have a manual in any vehicle.
The new
All right, Ken. Let me know if you won that new truck. I'll take that old one off your hands for you.
No, I'm sure you would take it.
Not the payment, but the you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Being your friend because of the benefit that's possible.
that's his brother.
Well, okay, it's just you can that.
Brotherly love.
no, there's a fire department around here. Oh, it's gonna be Kim's. Okay, well I'll take the Suburban. Yeah, I like that Suburban. That Suburban would be a good tow vehicle for me.
That'd be your mini house, Ed.
Well, come on, Ed, you come and take my Tahoe off my hands.
I always said that.
I wouldn't mind a Tahoe. But
Hey Ed,
yeah,
I want to give you my tip I learned real quick. I think doing vertical live streams are worth doing.
on the cell phone.
Yeah, because you just get more people going through for some reason. People don't really scroll live streams like this horizontal, but there's a whole group of people now that are just like TikTok or whatever. You know what I mean? They're all filming straight up and down.
Yeah, I seen that. I was looking
It
at
works,
that.
man. You get more people. I'll be getting people in there that I ain't seen in years, like David Johnson. You remember David Johnson?
Oh yeah.
He come through. Hugo's Go Parts. These are people that I don't see in my live streams ever. But when I put it straight up and down, I'm getting people that I'm not used to seeing. I do a live stream like this, I get 37 views.
Yeah.
I do a live stream straight up and down, I get like 250 views. So not like saying your Sundays or whatever, but if you ever are doing something cool, just stick your phone up in the shop straight up and down. You ain't got to talk to nobody. There's just people zooming through.
Well, my plan, since I'm off tomorrow, I was actually going to do a live stream from the shop today.
Try it like this one time and just see, because it's all about the numbers, man. How many people you get going through there? You know what I mean?
Well,
Random people are really clicking on this.
Bucky Seven used to doing that in the shop all the time. I haven't seen him in dog's age.
But yeah, I went out and checked the temperature in the shop this afternoon at about 4 o'clock. It was 93.
Sounds about what I'm used to working in.
Yeah, but I'm not. This fat boy ain't gonna sit out in the garage at 93 degrees. Sorry, guys. I got air conditioning in the house here, man.
It's hard to stay outside when it's so cool and calm.
I got a nice fan blowing.
Oh man, it's actually 77 in my house right now, and Mrs. Carts is probably freezing.
I've got mine set at 74.
When I go to bed, it's going down to 75.
She don't look like she's freezing to me. She just walked by with shorts on.
Oh,
She probably got.
Oh, now she's hiding.
She probably got a blanket.
She's got a blanket. There she is. She's got a t-shirt on.
A friend of mine, him and his wife, both, they're hot all the time, all year round.
She's feeding her fishes.
She will sit in the house. He'll have the air conditioning set at 70 degrees, 68 degrees. And
My AC won't go that low. I don't care. It won't. It just can't. It'll run nonstop and it'll never. And I got a brand new 3-ton AC unit. It'll never go that low. But I am getting a new roof soon, and I'm going with a lighter color, and I'm getting more ventilation in my attic, so it might help.
Well, theirs won't take the house down that low, but they have it set there. and she'll have a blanket on. And I'm like, you're always complaining because y'all are hot. You got a blanket on. Oh, I can't stand for it to be hot. I'm like, dude, just get a frickin' set it at like 75, get a nice fan. As long as the humidity gets out of the air, it's cool. It's not, so.
My father used to run a box fan all summer long, blowing it straight out, shut his bedroom door, and he never had an air conditioner. That's how we used to do it. Shut the bedroom door, put a box fan in the window, and blow it out.
My parents never got central air until after all us boys moved out, and actually after Dad retired.
Because he was there all the time. He didn't want to sweat.
Yeah.
No, it was after he had a stroke, or when he right about there. So. But
no, Nate, I actually have 3 of those GTs. I got one. I got the parts car here. I got the one out front, and I got one in Florida.
Oh, you got one down here.
Yeah, I got a black one down in Florida.
They're fairly rare cars too. You don't see them that often anymore, especially that year.
That's because that's the MK1.
Hey. And you damn sure don't see the convertibles very often. Didn't they make a hardtop convertible too?
No, they made a hard top that you could put on the convertible. But they weren't available in the United States market. If I ever find one, I'll buy it. But they made the Roadster is the convertible, and the straight GT had a back seat to it. They're the same car, but the only difference is the hardtop GT don't make sense. But the battery's underneath the back seat.
Nate, you need a Prowler, Nate.
Right. Those are pretty old these days. What are those, like 20 years old now?
Oh yeah, at least.
There can't be a lot of those around though.
Well, a friend of mine back when they first come out, she had a Dodge Stealth RT convertible. Beautiful, beautiful car.
That was the new Smokey and the Bandit car. When they tried to do Smokey and the Bandit again, they used the Dodge Stealth.
Yep.
And they are sick cars now.
Oh yeah, it was a beautiful. I drove it a couple of times. That thing was awesome, and it was convertible.
Aren't they all-wheel drive too?
I think so, but I'm not positive.
I think they are.
But she literally drove the wheels off that thing and destroyed it. And when she told me that she was getting rid of it, I'm like, but why? She's like, it's got almost 200,000 miles on it. It's costing me an arm and a leg and keeping it running and fixing it and everything else. I said, but it's a Dodge Stealth RT convertible. The convertibles were rare.
The rarest. I don't think I've ever seen one.
Yep. But she had one.
Another car I like that's real rare is that Mitsubishi GT 3000 or 3000 GT. I've always wanted one of those. They're twin turbo, all-wheel drive.
One of the ones I want, and I'll never be able to get it or afford it or anything. I want one of the original Dodge Ram mega cabs with the Cummins.
Dodge Ram, what year?
I want to say the first ones was in 97 or 98. The mega cabs.
That's when they got the long back doors, right?
It was, yeah, the back doors were bigger, but there was also it was basically a crew cab with an extended cab behind it and an 8-foot bed.
Jesus. I
seen one at the body shop, my buddy's body shop. He had it in there from a dealership. He was doing the body work on it for the dealership. The guy owned it. It wasn't for sale or anything like that. And literally, he had it pulled up against his workbench in the front and had just enough room to close the garage door behind it. He's like, dude, he's like, I've never had anything in my shop that big. And the one that he had in there was 4-wheel drive. It was black on black. I absolutely fell in love with the thing. And I'm like, dude, I got to have one of these. He goes, it would take you a country mile to turn the thing around. I'm like, yeah, but it's beautiful, man. I love it. So All right, y'all. It's been the hour. I appreciate everybody coming up and hanging out with me on this hot Sunday afternoon.
Goodness, I can go to bed in an hour. Thank God.
Yeah, I'm going to go to bed early too because I'm planning on being out in the shop before the sun comes up, or as the sun's coming up, so I can get some stuff done before it gets too hot.
You on vacation?
Just tomorrow. I'm burning. Yeah, it's the end of the month. It's the end of this fiscal year. I got to burn my time up. Use it or lose it. And this is actually my my floating holiday I'm taking. So
Nice. We call it personal holiday.
well, we get a personal day, we get a floating holiday,
Holiday. I like that.
and then we also get 8 hours of volunteer time. But you have to volunteer with a nonprofit something or other organization.
Well, you ought to easily be able to do that, Ed. Them daggum tractor pulls is definitely nonprofit.
they are they're actually a nonprofit organization, but they're not coded right.
Oh,
Because I asked my work about it. I'm like, they're nonprofit. I said, can I donate my time, like when I'm there for the working the track and stuff like that? And they're like, they told me all the stipulations of what kind of nonprofit organization they have to be. And I went and talked to them, and they're like, nope, we're not that kind of nonprofit. So,
well, what I was talking about was the price that you had to put in them tractors that you don't get paycheck for.
oh yeah, that. But when I went back and told them what kind of a nonprofit they were, they're like, oh no, that that's not covered. But here's a list of ones that are, 90% of them were through the university or with the university. So basically, they just want me to go work for another department for free for 8 hours. So, all right, y'all. Love y'all. Shut this down. You guys stay cool, and if I don't melt too much, we'll see y'all next weekend. So,
Talk to you later.
have a good one, guys.
Later.
Bye.